The Bears have a quarterback. What world am I living in? Oh my goodness. The Bears win. They're winners today. 35-16 over the Jacksonville Jaguars out across the pond in London. And, well, Caleb Williams balled out today. I haven't seen that dominant of a quarterback performance in a long time. It has been a long time since I've seen a Bears quarterback play that well in a game. It is really refreshing to know that the defense can play just like they have, and now the Bears are comfortably winning games. First time the Bears win back-to-back games by 19 points or more since 2006. They went to the Super Bowl that year. First time a Bears quarterback has 3 straight games with a 100-plus passer rating since Jay Cutler did it 4 times in a row in his first 4 games with the Bears in 2009. Caleb Williams, as a rookie quarterback, is changing the narrative in Chicago. Also, Caleb Williams threw for 4 touchdown passes today. How awesome is that? I mean, he played great. I know he had the interception, and that did stink. That was a bad throw. But, I mean, that's like the one big mistake he made all game long. Look, on that deep ball to DJ Moore, when they tried to hit it, Caleb Williams just set his feet for a little too long and put a little too much air under it. Boom, pretty easy pick for the safety, Andre Sisco, and, well, that was the last mistake that Caleb Williams made. Pretty much the last one. At least throwing the ball wise. He did take a couple sacks, which were frustrating at times because it felt like he was kind of running into certain sacks. But again, he still played great. I'm going to tell you guys this right now. It is okay to be excited. It is okay to be happy and excited that your team's playing well, despite the competition. I don't care who they've played. You play the teams on your schedule, and frankly, with these last 2 teams the Bears have played, they should have won these games by 3 scores. And they did. So, I think that there's a lot more positives than it doesn't show us anything. They beat the 1-5 Jaguars. They beat the 1-4 Panthers. I implore you to think about it from a perspective that, hey, they're beating up on bad teams, as good teams do. Has he proven us that he can be legit competition? Not really. Has any rookie quarterback really done that this year? Not really. But that's okay. We're in week 6. These guys have growing pains. There's still mistakes being made by all of these rookie quarterbacks. When it comes down to the end of the season, if they can win 1 or 2 big games down the stretch, that's going to be the difference. If they drop an early season game to a top opponent that's, been solid and in contention for years, I'm not too worried, which is why I'm happy that the Bears looked like a competent football team against bad teams. That is what good teams do. That is what they need to do, and that is exactly what the Bears did. Caleb had just 2 more incompletions than touchdowns in this game, through 6 incompletions, through 4 touchdowns, and he was very overall effective with the ball. Very clean. Again, had that pick, and that wasn't a great play. But he recognized it was the first thing he said in his post-game presser. That is a throw I can't make. Blah, blah, blah. I'll fix it. But he starts with that instead of talking about, look how great I am. I threw for 4 touchdowns. I'm the best. He takes a chance to understand his shortcomings. And that's important. You got to have the humility to understand where your mistakes are. I really like just the overall demeanor Caleb Williams has as a rookie in a big market like Chicago. I mean, it's really impressive. Again, reiterating the fact that if they're going to be a good team, shouldn't they be beating up on these bad teams? I know those first 2 wins were kind of a little sketchy, but they've looked really dominant in their last 2 games against weaker competition. And now they go into the bye week. I think that there's a lot to look forward to. I can't see how you come out of this game and have a negative outlook on the season. Like, okay, they beat a bad team in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who cares? They're 4-2 going into the bye week. They won 7 games last year. In 3 of their first 10 games, they won just 3 games the year prior. Like, they're already on a so much better pace than they have been the last 2 years. If you're sitting here saying all these negative things, even though they just absolutely thoroughly dominated in this game, I don't know what you're doing. I understand that there is a sense of dread in Chicago. You know, it's tons of seasons where maybe there's a hot start and then they falter. I understand the concern and the reluctance to buy in. I understand. I've had that happen several times to me as a fan. But this is just fun to watch. How about we just have some fun with this? That's one thing that's, I'm just having so much more fun watching these games, not just concerned about who the opponent is and everything. They're playing to the opponent, and the opponent is not playing up to standard, and they're not keeping up with the Bears' offense. They're taking advantage. They have back-to-back games with 5 offensive touchdowns. That's right, 5 offensive touchdowns in back-to-back games for the first time in the Super Bowl era. For the first time since the 50s in this franchise. That is unbelievable. They are supposed to play that way. If they're going to be a good team, they're supposed to beat up on the bad teams. And that's exactly what they've done over the last 2 weeks. Now they get a bye week, and now this is when the schedule starts to ramp up in difficulty. Before getting into the future, I want to talk a little bit more about the game that we watched. Cole Kmet had a great game. 2 touchdown catches, and can I say, what a guy to come in as the emergency long snapper. He played great. Had 5 really good snaps on the touchdowns. You could say that the one on the field goal that ended up getting blocked was a bit iffy, but it didn't matter. Yeah, Cole Kmet had a great day. He caught this touchdown in the end zone late in the first half. But I want to stick on the first one. I've kind of talked a little bit more general about things throughout the day. I want to focus on this specific play right here. And I'm pretty sure those who watch this game know exactly where I'm going with this. This was just offensive genius. The best play call Shane Waldron has had all season. Keenan Allen set in motion. Caleb Williams fakes a pitch back to him. Fakes a throw the other way to the running back. And then finds Cole Kmet streaking right down the middle of the field. Right to him. And then Cole Kmet just, boom, lowers the shoulder. Trucks over Andre Sisco, breaks that tackle, and is able to reach and score. I mean, just a brilliant play from scheme to execution. Everything about that play was phenomenal. It might be the highlight of the season so far. I genuinely think that might be the best play this season so far. Look, Shane Waldron has struggled in the first quarter of these last 2 games. Offense really hasn't been able to get going. But once that second quarter hits and he's able to make some adjustments, Shane Waldron has actually had some pretty good play calls. The offense is looking efficient. It doesn't feel like they're running a ton of negative plays and really a bunch of plays that are against the team's strengths. I feel like the play calls are reflecting the strengths of this team, which, what do you know, is a good thing. So even though 3 weeks ago we all wanted this man fired, got to give him props for that play call and for how the offense played throughout this entire game. The one thing I will say, of course, the one pass that was intercepted was Caleb Williams' deep bomb. I'd like to see them stretch the field a little bit more. I want to, it's totally different from when it felt like Trubisky and Fields were kind of getting into the league, where it felt like we couldn't even throw the ball down the field 10 to 15 yards. Now it feels like we're kind of in that good intermediate section for Caleb Williams. He's able to hit some passes about 10, 15 yards past the line of scrimmage. I'd like to see some of that more deeper intermediate type stuff. 20, 25, maybe once or twice take this shot like they did today of like the 40-yard bomb. But that would be my one idea. But who knows? It depends on who is on the schedule and what they're good with. I was a little concerned, not necessarily concerned, I was a little confused why Shane Waldron at the start of the game wasn't trying to attack the secondary. Only the worst secondary in the league this year, and go with the run when their rush defense has actually been pretty good. It didn't really matter. The Bears' rushing offense was really good. They played well. DeAndre Swift played great. Great out of the backfield receiving as well. Had another monster game. We all, Bear fans, by the way, owe DeAndre Swift a massive apology because he has just played lights out these last 3 games. But back to the offensive scheme. The other big thing I want to see in this scheme, I want to see Caleb Williams roll out a little more. I gotta say, his pocket presence already feels so much better than Fields' was when he was here in Chicago. Again, I can't really attest for how he's played in Pittsburgh. I haven't really watched a lot of Pittsburgh games this year. I've watched, but I don't have the same knowledge of that offense and that team as I do the one we're talking about right now, which is the Chicago Bears. And it feels like Caleb Williams already has a much tighter presence in the pocket than Justin Fields ever did when playing for the Bears. I'd like to try to see if they can roll him out a little more, maybe do a design rollout so he can throw on the run. He had a really nice improvisation play, getting out of a sack, rolling, and then throwing back across his body to a wide open Kmet, which then set up the Bears' 5th touchdown of the game. So I mean, there was that. That was nice, but that was improvisation. I'd like to see some more from Caleb Williams on the roll because he looked good in the pocket. But I guess that would be my one gripe. But again, we're kind of at that point of the season where trying things is going to be a bit more difficult now that we're kind of knowing where the team's at and they're in they're in playoff contention right now. They're 4-2. The entire division is going to be over 500, or at least 500 or better. Like, it's just the way that they're playing. I don't think they don't need a change right now. But again, the schedule gets tougher as we go forward. Last offensive player I want to highlight, Keenan Allen. Finally, Keenan Allen gets going. 5 catches, 2 touchdown catches, and both those touchdown catches, mind you, were really nice, showing why he's still got it, man. But, it kind of shows maybe he was not getting as much attention, maybe still recovering from that injury those last couple weeks. And that's probably why he hadn't been getting that many targets. But love to see Keenan Allen finally getting into the pass game, and he caught his first 2 Bears touchdowns. Anyways, another quick side note. Gotta love the tea party celebration. That was sweet. Sitting in a nice little circle, crisscross applesauce. Just let's sip on some tea here while we're in London. Of course, only natural. That was kind of nice. It's been a while since I've seen some sort of celebration like that out of the Bears. I see more out of the Bears defense than I do from the offense, but that was super nice to kind of this is just fun celebration and perfect for the situation and the place that they were playing. Again, don't need to really touch on the defense that much. They played another great solid game. That's 12 in a row where the Bears defense has held their opponent to 21 points or less. The defense is playing lights out. Eberflus has figured this defense out. It really is night and day. We got Montez Sweat, and then boom, defense, it all just started clicking. And they continue to play, they continue to perform game in, game out. It's really, really impressive. And guess what? We're 6 games into the season. There's been 1 game this season where the Bears defense has not forced multiple turnovers. It's just a testament to this team's playmaking ability. And frankly, they could have had 2 more fumble recoveries. They forced 3 fumbles. One of them was called incomplete, and Travis Etienne didn't establish possession of the football before Tremaine Edmonds popped it out. And then the other one was on a kickoff. They forced it out, and they just couldn't jump on it, which is a kind of a big dog pile. Those are kind of a bit of crapshoot. They forced a third, got that one. Evan Ingram was punched right out. TJ Edwards, beautiful peanut punch. And then Elijah Hicks, the backup, coming in for an injured Jaquan Brisker, who didn't even fly out to London, makes the play. The key word for the defense, depth. Today showed they've got depth. They had Jaquan Brisker not even make the trip to London. Tyreek Stevenson was ruled out during the week, didn't even play in this game. And then Kyler Gordon got hurt midway through this contest as well. So they started Jalen Johnson and Elijah Hicks. Hicks was replacing Brisker, Jones was replacing Stevenson, and they targeted the two guys. They're going to let up a little bit of yards. That's what happens when you put your backups. They're going to target the backups. And then it's Josh Blackwell, who comes in for Kyler Gordon and ends up getting an interception off Trevor Lawrence, which gotta love it for the guy. That's gotta feel great. Come in for an injured player, an injured starter, and make a play. And that was the play after a depth sack. Connor Williams getting to Trevor Lawrence on the play prior to Blackwell's interception. The defensive depth was huge. Byron Cowart got a half sack. Amen Ogbongbemiga also got a sack late in the game against Mac Jones. Yes, the Bears for the second straight week have forced the backup to come in late in the game. But Ogbongbemiga got a sack as well. I mean, just crazy performance from the defense and from the depth pieces too, which I really love because that just shows that this defense is not only good with all the starters on the field, but there are people that can step up, fill in, and play well. Again, I'm going to bring this up because I know that that's what some people think. I know they played the Jags. I know the Jags are very bad. They're a bad football team. They're 1-5. They're a bad football team. But like, you gotta. Can you enjoy a win? Can you just enjoy winning and taking advantage of playing a bad football team? Why would we sit here and complain? I'm not impressed. Not impressed. Doesn't matter. Just enjoy the game. Have fun. Like, of course, it's gonna feel sweeter when they do something like this to a team that is much better than 1-5. But take it in. Enjoy that the Bears are winning football games against teams they should in comfortable fashion. I don't know, I feel like I have to almost justify being excited about a win because they beat up on a bad team. And I really feel like that shouldn't be the case. You play the teams that are on your schedule, and the schedule makers gifted the Bears with a very easy front half. The back half is really tough. They gifted them with a really good front half, and they're taking advantage of it. That's the bottom line. My idea, if they did not have a winning record going into that first game, Week 11 against Green Bay, then we'd have to have some serious conversations. But, at this pace, they very well could be 6-3, 7-2 if things go according to plan. But regardless, they're taking advantage of the teams that are on their schedule. They didn't pick that they were playing the Panthers and Jaguars in back-to-back weeks. That wasn't their fault. The schedule makers made it out that way. You play the teams on your schedule. And if they so happen to be a weaker team than you, take advantage. Don't let them pull the upset off and control the game. And that's exactly what they did. Overall, a nice, confident, comfortable, dominant win again. I really liked what I saw, man. That first quarter was tough. I will say, the one thing that has me a little nervous, first quarter was a bit brutal in the last 2 weeks. They let the first score again, but responded by scoring a crap ton of points right after and basically putting the game out of reach. So, I think that's probably get off to a better start. I think that's probably a big thing that they can try and hammer in while they're on the bye week. Which, by the way, they have the bye week. After the Bears as a team, 2 best games this season and 2 best games in a while, it feels like, especially offensively. You got to feel great going into the bye here, 4-2. And I know a lot of us would love to have that Colts game back. But that game, more and more important to the growth of this football team. Because honestly, if they had, if there weren't the dumb play calls during that game and all these red flags about Swift, Waldron, blah, etc., then we wouldn't be in this position. Because since that game against Indianapolis, Shane Waldron's improved his play calling and he's actually making good play calls. DeAndre Swift has turned out to be a dog. He's just eating yardage over and over. He's just eating in these last 3 games. And then Caleb Williams has turned the ball only once in the last 3 games while throwing for 7 touchdown passes in his last 3 games. That is the definition of growth. And if you cannot see that and you're still looking at, well, he threw a pick, took a couple sacks, you're fishing and nitpicking, then I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know. No one's going to play a perfect game, especially as a rookie. Anyways, let's try and wrap this thing up. There's a lot riding on their next game. They're on the bye week. They come out of the bye. They're going on the road to play the Washington Commanders, which for some reason now all of a sudden seems to be a big rivalry. Seems like the contention and the contempt is now there. The hatred is building between Chicago and D.C., all because of who's playing quarterback and just trying to argue who's better. Which guy has better stats, which guy has better flashy plays, blah, 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 blah. Shut up. They're both great quarterbacks. I don't think either team missed. How about that? We're 6 games in. Neither team missed. Caleb Williams has looked really good. Jayden Daniels has looked really good. I think we should both give these quarterbacks their flowers because they both played very well. Man, it's one of my favorite things when I start to voice crack during these videos. It's so much fun. Look, I think as football fans, we should all be excited for the Chicago-Washington game in 2 weeks in D.C. I think that there's going to be a ton of coverage. I don't think the deadline to flex it into Sunday Night Football has come yet. I know that's the hot topic. I know everyone wants that to be flexed in. I wouldn't hate it. But it's Dallas-San Francisco that week. As much as we would like to see the Bears in primetime again, it's not going to happen. They're going to keep Dallas and San Francisco in there. It's the historical matchup. They're going to keep it. But I think that there is a lot to talk about when thinking about what will lead up to this game. When was the last time we had a rookie quarterback matchup where both quarterbacks were playing really well going into it? This is going to be a really fun game. And honestly, it's good to be able to get some head-to-head experience against each other because, frankly, if both continue to play at this level for a long time, this could be one of the great quarterback rivalries in the NFL for years to come. So buckle up, everyone. This is going to be a really fun one. Bears are on the bye next week. They get the benefit of getting the extra week to prepare for this game. So, I leave you with this. Bear down. They're 4-2. They have momentum going into the bye week, and they dominate across the pond. Thank you all for watching this reaction video. If you liked it, please give it a like. If you really liked this video, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel and get updated on when I post and see what I have to say. Now, I don't know why you would care what I have to say, but if you do, more power to you. And I will see you guys in the next video. See y'all around.